New $600 stimulus check on our way to hyperinflation, financial collapse, societal collapse, and World War III. The only unknown is the timeline. The system is broken, as we keep on piling debt on future generations. They don't realize this is going to go on for 20 years, and it's going to be a nightmare in a few years. The whole system has gone rogue. The whole economy is being stage managed. Enlightening and becoming more obvious every day. The government continues to ignore the needs of our citizens in this time of crisis. They are stimulating everybody. Just not you and me. Congress finally pulled together a stimulus deal. Both houses of Congress passed the $900 billion measure. It ranks as the second largest stimulus bill in history, only behind the CARES Act passed earlier this year. Eisenhower called Democrats the spenders. This bill is only the beginning. The headline provisions include $600 stimulus checks to individuals earning under $75,000 per year, a $300 per week unemployment supplement, more money for Paycheck Protection Program loans, and funding for the vaccine distribution to the tune of over $8 billion. The bill extends the federal eviction moratorium through January 31 and sets aside $25 billion in rental assistance. Too little too late, we are back on the highway to hell. Several members of Congress are taking to social media to complain about the handful of hours they have to read the 5,593-page spending bill. It's not just trouble with reading. It's the comprehension of what they are reading that is the only crutch they can perhaps lean on when passing this monstrosity. It is a 5,000-page pile of toilet paper that nobody read. It's a giveaway to every foreign ally they could give it to and nothing for Americans. It is not an American relief bill, it represents relief for foreign countries. Congress doesn't care about the American people. But they sure did take care of their foreign friends. A $900 billion bill. $700 billion in pork. $200 billion to the people. A measly $600 is not going to save the people they have brought to their knees with their tyrannical and ridiculous mandates. That doesn't cover barely 1% of the damages of the governors wandering about lapping up the Cuomo Kool-Aid. Tens of millions to comedy clubs, and $600 to those who were displaced by unnecessary lockdowns. Sending more money abroad to foreign countries than to American small businesses. Restaurants, bars, and neighborhood businesses got nothing. But comedy clubs are getting funds. MTA in New York is getting billions to pay their workers to stay home. They are spending $100 million for a study on why young people want to migrate to the United States. Family members of illegal aliens are now eligible for relief funds, which are retroactive to the first bill, so they will get $1,800. The bill is practically worthless to the American people. This bill is a complete rip-off of the American people. How many government jobs have been going without a paycheck? Who really thinks these clowns give a dead rat about anyone but their own power lust and ever-exploding bank accounts on a servant's salary? Charlatans and traitors all. When we are all in chains, do-nothing voters for the establishment deserve a roundhouse kick in the back. Voting is not thinking or discerning. When you only have two options, that's slavery and servitude. We deserve everything we are going to get in the unspeakably horrific future. We allowed it. We served it. We will reap it. Welcome back to the Atlantis Report. You are here for your daily dose of the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Please take a second to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to also hit the notification bell. Many of you have asked me where they can buy silver and gold bullion. You will find in the description box the links where you can buy American Silver Eagle, silver bars, or rounds. I highly recommend that you start stacking some silver bullion for the future. While the U.S. stock market soars and share prices rise, the fundamentals of the U.S. economy could not be worse. We have record amounts of debt, deficit spending, and government intrusion. Powerful central planning always makes for a weak economy. The stock market seems to soar in spite of an economy in bad shape. But is the stock market really soaring? Is the stock market overpriced? Or is it the dollar to sink and some inflation of the dollar is priced in, and stock market did not soar, the shares only have a higher value, expressed in that collapsing fiat currency called dollar? The worst part is the Fed doesn't recognize inflation due to scarcity of products and services due to shutting down the most active economy in planetary history. Inflation begins in the head. It had begun in the head of the investors at the stock market. These people know exactly about the amount of money that the Fed has put into circulation. So they want to have their money invested in stocks, not in dollars and treasuries. So they are willing to pay more and more of these dollars to get shares. Later everybody will say they were right. This all is the beginning. The dollar is on its way down, to not use too strong words. January comes, both parties will vote to keep printing money. I think we, as a nation, need to hit rock bottom before people wake up and stop voting for those that keep promising free money. Take the taxpayer money, give it to one of their favorite cause, and then wait for the money to come back to them in the form of political donations. We are all being used to keep their corruption going strong. $600 to U.S. citizens, to those who qualify? Every U.S. citizen should qualify. They need it. $600 is not going to help anyone pay their mortgage. Food for a week or pay on an overdue bill, maybe. What about the billions they are sending overseas? This is too little too late. We get $600, and other countries get millions of our dollars for nothing. The looting of our stores and businesses last summer was just a preview. Now we're witnessing the looting of our treasury. Can anyone justify why hundreds of millions of our tax dollars are slated for Burma, Jordan, Lebanon, Egypt, Tunisia, Oman, Palestine, Cambodia, and Nepal, while tens of millions of Americans are hurting and out of work? There is no complication of charitable giving that permits our government to put the needs of humanity above those of American families. None. $135 million to Burma, $85.5 million to Cambodia, $1.4 billion for Asia Reassurance Initiative Act, $130 million to Nepal, $700 million to Sudan, $250 million to Palestinian aid, $25 million for gender programs in Pakistan. I thought the $900 billion new stimulus program was for the citizens of the USA. Not foreign governments. Not $1 to American universities and colleges. Not $1 to California, New York, and other states and cities that are and have been insolvent for years before the pandemic. There's an old adage, take care of your family first before helping others. The stimulus package should go towards U.S. citizens only for their needs at the peak of the pandemic. For the people. It's a crook package deal. They have no empathy for the American people. If they are including foreign countries as recipients of huge sums, then, by all means, include all U.S. citizens. Period. We spend more money policing the world than we do taking care of our own citizens, average Americans living in a make-believe world of fear and paranoia that somehow we're going to be invaded, all fed by the media. Funny, but not funny, to hear people complaining that $600 isn't enough. That won't even pay the rent. We should have gotten $1,200 like we did last time, etc. yada yada yada. Well, the reason why $600 doesn't go very far is because you got $1,200, maybe more, last time. And the other little carrots and sticks like cash for clunkers, remember that, previous stimulus checks, surplus money for useless pork projects, building better bombs, etc. $600 actually would cover a month's rent, once upon a time. Those days are gone forever. $900 billion cost divided by 143 million taxpayers equals cost of over $6,000 for each taxpayer. In return, you get $600 back, and the special interests get your other $5,400. I can't afford many more of these debt checks. There is a tipping point where the future can no longer be robbed to pay for the present. I give you $600 from future taxes on the loan we took out today in your name from the Federal Reserve, which gives us the government the right to restrict more of your freedoms. You let us do it, but here is some chump change from the future to make you feel better about it today. The money laundering companies and overseas countries must be paid to keep our current and possible future corrupt schemes going. The government must at all costs remain big, and the people of the land remain small, even if it's to the point of their existence barely being noticed. The value of the dollar yesterday was about 3 cents, today, it just got voted down to 1.5 cents. When it hits zero, the Great Depression shall befall all. It will push for a worldwide begging for the Great Reset. There is nothing great about it, for many will perish. It is a blood ritual, and you and I are the sacrifices. Oh, how long, humanity, will you choose to allow for your undoing to happen? The sands of time shall wait no longer. Lucifer, if you have to follow such an idea as one called such being in existence, is not to blame, but the people that have created the government systems are. Giving those people in government some great power because they claim to be associated with a dark force, or it is stated about them being attached to some dark force, just weakens people's resolve to fight the right way. Yes, they are bad and evil, but it is because of themselves, not for any other reason. In order to truly fight the real enemy that creates laws and takes out loans in your name daily, their ability to do so must be either reduced or removed. It is not enough to just remove a politician either through voting or other means. The laws that allow them to become corrupt must be either removed or changed. No one associated with the government, either through created agencies or created corporate entities through the Federal Reserve, goes to jail. Because they all can claim what they did was done for national security reasons. They have a get-out-of-jail card, which the average citizen does not. This must change. Yes, it just may require shutting the government down to make the change happen. Hopefully, for humanity's sake, it is not too late. When the hyperinflation starts, everyone will starve no matter how much money they give you. Germany, Weimar Republic, post-World War I. A wheelbarrow of cash to buy a loaf of bread. Just sitting back, counting the days until the world starts looking for a new reserve currency. The way things are going, it won't be long before it becomes a reality. Unfortunately, since every currency is fiat and is supported by the collective faith of the public, there aren't any real alternatives to pick from. When the dollar finally does lose its reserve currency status, our economic downfall is going to be epic.